Hey everybody, I want to talk to you today about what I've been doing this afternoon because I've been rock climbing. I want to tell you a bit about how I climb and what I've been doing today actually because it's been quite exciting this afternoon. So I started climbing just over 4 years ago. I climb a little bit differently to the way that most people climb because of the way that I move and because I don't have the strength or the coordination that most people do. When I'm on the water, my belayer, who is the person attached to the other end of the rope, they're in the harness attached to the rope that goes up to the top of the water and back down to it's attached to me. So with other climbers, they just pull in the rope as the climber is going up. And the rope doesn't have to be particularly tight, it just needs to be pulled in all the time so that if they do fall, they're not going to get far. So with me, I can let go of the water at any time. And sometimes, or a lot of the time, I can't make big moves. I say that, a lot of the time I used to be able to not make big moves, but slowly changing. So basically, to counteract those difficulties, my belayer sits in the harness, and then as I go up, they go down a bit and walk back a bit. And it means that every little move that I do is caught. I don't go up and then come back down again. And what it also means is that if I go for a really big move, that I either try and don't get, or I have to make very little movements and not love them to reach the next hold, it means that I can do that. My belayer is actually a climbing instructor. After 3 or 4 months, he said to me that, he thought that actually I might be able to climb a bit without him sitting in the harness. And it would mean that it would be a lot more work for me, and it wouldn't be easy, but we thought we'd have a go and see how it went. And it's a really different way of climbing for me because I have to think much harder about what I'm doing. And one of the things that I noticed in this series is that in the past I can push up and kind of let go immediately. I'm still not going to fall. But if my belayer isn't leaning, I can't let go immediately because I will lose the height that I've just gained because my belayer hasn't had time to pull in that rope. So you always taking the rope in so there's no slack in it, it's still tight, but I just can't rely on it being completely tight all the time. I have to hold on to the wall and allow him time to put it in. So it has kind of forced me to hold my weight a lot more. Rather than coming today, I did a wall that I've done a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, but I've done it with him leaning. And this time I did it without him leaning. And while I have done climbing in that way before, it's always been on what's called a slab. So this is a wall that's kind of slightly leaning, and you're climbing up here. Yeah, I did it on the wall today, but it was completely vertical. And I think we worked out that I might be on the wall for about an hour. Last week I did it really quite quickly, but climbing without my belayer leaning on the rope is completely different, and it really forces me to think about my movement so much more. And it really interesting climbing like this because it makes me realise even more, it makes it even more obvious how I have been climbing and how kind of what I'm not doing that I could be doing that would be much better. So for example, I use my left foot a lot when I'm climbing, and I automatically I don't use my right foot if I can help it, just because in my mind it's not gonna work. My mind and my body don't always seem to connect. So there'll be a move that I think, well, logically I should be able to do it this way, but because my body is so used to doing it another way, or it just says, no, I can't do that, I'm gonna fall off, I'm gonna lose my balance or whatever, and my body says no, so I have to kind of be retraining my muscles to do the move anyway. And they're hard, they're really challenging, but I have to keep trying, keep doing it until eventually I make the move. And that happened today. There was a particular move that my body just would not do, and it took me a very long time to get that move right. I was so pleased that I got to the top. I nearly didn't. I was about 3 holes away, and I can put my beat out. I can't do it. Okay, let's just give it one more shot. And I did. I made it to the top, and the very last move up to that hole, I did ask him to leave, because that's the way that we've been doing it before marriage, but he won't leave, so he won't get in the harness until I say leave. But today I actually got up to get the hole before the last one, without him leaving at all, which is one hell of a achievement for me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. I will put a link somewhere in this area. So hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on my next video. And I will see you next time. Bye.